Hey everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Nobody came to the session tonight, so I'm just going to go over a few things, and then I'll be here the full hour if you need any help. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show you our course homepage. I scroll down here to the student role. Okay, I've had a couple of questions about where the acknowledgement form is. I put in zeros for those of you who had not turned in the acknowledge form. So you can find it right here on our course homepage under course information. And so you will need to, if you just click on that, it downloads to a PDF file, and then you can electronically sign it. Read through all of this really good information. And it is good information because it talks about what expectations from me, from you, from your parents, from the facilitator, and what you can expect, what I can expect. You'll enter your name, and if one of these belongs to you, which I don't think any of these belong to us, you would initial it, but then you would sign here electronically, just typing in your name, and then put your parents' name here, date and phone number. Okay? It's important that this get turned in. We have a Dropbox for that. Okay, I wanted to point out a new news announcement that was posted today, talking about listing what is due this week, this coming week. So the following assignments are due on January 24th, 2018 by midnight. That's next Wednesday. So we're going to continue to read the course material on the French Revolution and then complete the French Revolution multiple choice and short answer test. Okay? Also, there's a discussion question to be done, preserver or destroyer of the revolution. That's talking about Napoleon. Excuse me. And then we're going to go to our next unit, Napoleon and the Conservative Response. And I'll also give you a little information here about being here at the live session on 7:30 on Thursdays. And it's being recorded, so if you can't make it live, you can certainly listen to the recording. I also wanted to turn your attention to a question that I got from a student in this class. And I've posted it here under French Revolution Help. I appreciated her asking me this question. If you need clarification on something that we're studying, please reach out to me. You can post your question here on these help sessions, or you can email me. She emailed me, but I thought it was a pretty good question, so I went ahead and put it in the discussion for her. Okay? So she said she was reading the French Revolution chapter and became confused on the Jacobins, the National Convention, and the Committee of Public Safety, which I perfectly understood because you have to understand that during a revolution, things are going to change very quickly. Different factions, different groups of people will come into power and drop out of power. Different committees are formed, different conventions are formed. And so her question is, were the Jacobins separate from the National Convention and the Committee of Public Safety, or were they a part of it? Did all three at some point control the political aspect of France? And was the Committee of Public Safety or the Jacobins that started the terror, the reign of terror? And so here's how I answered it. So if we look at the National Convention, it was an elected assembly that ran France in place of the monarchy. In fact, they got rid of the monarchy. But they were elected by the people. It was similar, if you would think, to the branches of government in the United States. Okay, we have elected representatives. However, in our government, we have two major parties that dominate, the Republicans and the Democrats. And it's important to understand that most European countries are not like that. They have several parties. And what they do is they build coalitions among the parties. You may be a part of a party, and there's another party that thinks a lot like you do, but not exactly like you do. But you may go into a a coalition with them to gain more power. And that's similar to what the Jacobins did, and they were called in the National Convention. They were called the Montagnards. They favored the working class. The reason they were called the Montagnards was because they held higher level seats in the National Convention. The Girondins was another party that emerged. They favored more of a bourgeois system, a middle class system. The Jacobins got into a coalition with the Sans-Culottes, and they were also led by Robespierre, which both parties really were. But the Jacobins, led by Robespierre, established a revolutionary dictatorship, or a joint domination, which ended up being the Committee of Public Safety along with the Committee of General Security. So both of these groups were known for enacting terror. I know it's confusing, and the reason it's confusing is, like I said, because it changes so quickly. One person's in power and then they're not in power. However, I will say that the Jacobins are still sort of known today as an extreme left-wing group. So I hope that gave some clarifications on the Jacobins. And if you have any questions regarding the content, what we're studying, please reach out to me. You can, like I said, post your question in the help section of our discussions. Just about every discussion that we have has a help section. Or you can email me directly like this student did. I certainly welcome these questions. Heading back to our news announcement, like I said, there are two assignments that are going to be due January 24th, 2018. So your French Revolution multiple choice and short answer test, if you go to assessments and click on quizzes, there you'll see your French Revolution test. Now I've noticed that some people are working ahead and already working on different tests that are not yet due. You're certainly welcome to do that. Just understand, if you decide to chance it and complete one of these tests without thoroughly reading the material, whatever grade you end up with, you just end up with it. You're not going to have another chance to redo the test. So you may want to wait and to follow the pacing guide of your schedule. Another thing that we're going to have due this upcoming assignment due date is the preserve and destroy, or destroy. So here is a discussion question where I ask you, after we've already finished the French Revolution and moved on to a new unit, did Napoleon uphold the ideals of the revolution or destroy the ideals of the revolution? That's the question. And so you will make a decision and post here in this discussion. As usual, here is my contact information. If you need to reach out to me, I encourage you to do that. If you want to come to the live session, they're here on Thursdays at 7:30. I'm here every week. I'm working on getting your assignments graded. You had a DBQ, terror, as an instrument of government. It's probably going to take more than 3 days to grade, so I'm working on that, so please be patient there. Okay. All right, so since nobody's here, there's no questions for me to answer. I'm going to go ahead and stop talking and stop the recording. I'll be here the entire hour, though, in case somebody has a question. Thank you for listening.